Well, happy Monday morning.
And good morning to you, Ed. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
Trying not to watch the bond market and all that other stuff going on.
No, I'm just burying my head in the sand.
That's a good thing. Before we went on, I was going to ask you if you've seen the kids in the hall back in the day.
Back in the day, I did, but do I have those brain cells to remember much of it? Not much.
They brought it back again.
Uh-oh.
It's on Amazon, all the original ones. And it's
really?
Like, yeah. There was only a couple I enjoyed, but they were out, at the time it was like late at night and there wasn't much on. So they're out of Canada and most of those actors went on to do movies and other stuff. But,
huge stuff too, right?
Yeah. So it's, I was going to post why did they have to bring this back? I guess we ran out of content.
I'm kind of the generation of Second City TV and, that kind of stuff, the Canadian comics that were kind of fashioned over Saturday Night Live.
Right. Well, I liked that was the 90s. That was when they were good.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not knocking them right now, but I just can't watch it myself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, don't do it.
Okay, I won't. All right. So
my eye.
Did you have a good weekend? Was you stressed?
Had a great weekend.
Your eyes.
Yeah, a little stressed. No, it's just crap in my eye. It's kind of windy today.
It definitely was windy the last few days.
Yeah. I had a fantastic weekend. I had a lot of fun people over at the casa and enjoyed their company.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
greatly.
show up.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, we went to graffiti Saturday. It was a little warm, but we went early, and then it was really warm.
Yeah, well, thank God it wasn't as warm as they said it was going to be earlier in the week. They were shooting at 107, 108.
I know, 84 at 9 is kind of warm.
Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah, as it keeps getting hotter and hotter. But I think the whole day yesterday, 85 yesterday?
I think so, yeah. You'll never hear me complain about the heat. I just love it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
big old fat man, and he loves the heat.
Bacon.
Yep. Bacon. I like bacon too.
Hey, kind of want to talk about everybody keeps talking about bubble, and this is, I think we talked about this before we went on, and a lot of people don't know this, but in the housing market, 38% are owned free and clear. Mm-hmm. All right, so that leaves like 62%, I think, if I can calculate that. Out of that 62%, half of them have mortgage rates below 4%. So what does that mean? That there's only half of them that have anything over that, and they probably have a very small mortgage on those. That's why they didn't refinance those.
Well, and Owens, David Michael Owens, or is it Owens David Michael? He says, "Hey Ed," and of that 62%, I would say all of them are in an equity position at this time.
Most people are in an equity position.
Yeah.
So then that's why they keep talking about we're not going to see a bubble, and I keep seeing prices are going to drop. Well, they might come down. Yeah, I can see that. But one thing I wanted to really talk about is coming back, and I'm seeing more of that is the seller buy down.
Yep.
And what is so I don't just talk. What is a seller buy down?
What is a seller buy down, Ed? Tell me about that.
A seller buy down is basically the seller helps to buy down the interest rate for the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few different ways you can do it. There used to be a 2-1 buy down, which meant you bought the interest rate down 2% the first year, 1% the second year, and went to the regular rate the third year on. Or you can just do a direct pay to buy the rate down 1% and keep it there. Is that another comment?
Mm-hmm. He must be his campaign manager.
He was.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, David. Today we're talking about real estate right now. Appreciate it. I'll get back to you a little bit later.
Yeah.
About any campaigning stuff. All right. Where were we at? All right. So the seller buy down, it's back. And it's not change. It's not saying that the market's so much worse. All it's doing is helping the buyers be able to purchase and feel more confident that now that, because that sometimes could be a couple $100 a month.
Yeah. As interest rates climb and, like you said this morning, another 100 basis points.
Well, I didn't tell them, but thanks for ruining it.
Yeah. Well, I like to ruin things. It's okay.
Yeah. We just need the Fed to act.
Yeah.
That's what we need. They're a little behind the game. They need to overreact. And I think that's what they're going to. Right now, there is a possibility for a 75 bips hike in the short-term interest rates. Again, what the Fed does has nothing to do with real estate, mortgages, and stuff like that. However, what it does do is the confidence in the market and what's happening is what that does.
Right.
I don't care about the media. I just threw that in there. I want to thank MBS Highway for their information. So there is a 74% chance. However, they don't think anything's going to happen this meeting. They're going to do the 0.5%. Oops, sorry, wrong where to go. Anyway, I missed it. But they're thinking, here it is. About 50. They're going to probably do a 50%. They don't want to overreact. Don't want to scare the market, so they're going to do probably a 50% this week, and then lay groundwork for a 75 next. I say they're probably going to go right into a 75, but I've been wrong many times before.
Yeah, you've got a 75% chance of being wrong.
I have a 25% chance of being
no,
wrong.
Let's just do some crazy ass math.
26%.
This morning I looked at what happened over the week, and there were 68 whole new listings in Modesto. 68 over a 7-day period. There were
that's
16,
about as many houses get built in Modesto.
Yeah, exactly. And there were 16 price reductions over the 7-day period, and 7 homes came back on the market for one reason or another. A lot of times in this market, it could be that rate wasn't locked. Interest rate goes up, boom. They don't think about doing a 2-1 buy down. They don't think about being creative. They don't think about what other ways they can make this thing work. And that's the one thing that we do. What you need a realtor and a good lender for is when things get topsy-turvy, you need to figure things out. And there are so many irons out there that you can throw into the fire. I'm mixing my metaphors.
That's okay.
That you could throw into fire.
I didn't know you were a blacksmith.
You have to be in this crazy market to make things work. No doom and gloom. Let's just figure it out.
Right.
Make it work.
Yeah. Never say die.
Never say die.
Yeah. Because if you need to be locking the moment you get your contract accepted.
Yeah. Do you even need a prelim anymore to be able to lock, or do you just need an accepted contract?
You just need an accepted contract. And sometimes you can do it ahead of time. We're starting to see some of those.
The lock-in shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is it really shouldn't be a problem, but it just depends on what if you don't get into that price point. What if there's certain things that can happen? It's just as soon as you get in contract, let's lock that thing and be happy with it.
Well, and right now, a lock-in shop is a great tool, especially since you're not competing depending on the price range.
Well, it just depends how long you're going to lock it for and what's that number.
Yeah. So, if you got 45 days, that would be plenty, wouldn't it?
It would be.
You would think so.
In this market, because you could actually, it's easier to get in contract now. It's easier to get some little help from the seller. And I don't mean because the market's crashing. I just mean everybody's seeing, hey, I can't be that asshole anymore when I sell my house. I might actually have to do some things.
Right. We call them assholes now.
You know what I mean? The ones who go like, fuck, I don't care. I'll take the next offer.
Yeah.
I got the back offer. I got,
Yeah.
For years, you guys used to tell all the lenders, oh, we got to all cash a backup offer. And I guess that was like in a book. It was like, if you want to get your lender to move, pull this out. I'm just kidding.
Just work the deal until if it falls apart, it falls apart. And then,
but it shouldn't fall apart. Let's make sure they're locked when you get in.
Yeah.
You can always move to a new investor, new different things, float down rate. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. But right now, that's not to worry about, because you need to worry about the difference. In the last 3 days, we've had almost more than a 200 basis point move in the wrong direction.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was last week like 5 point something, and now we're closer to 6. You're going to see some numbers where, depending on if you're doing 3% down and your FICO score, you're going FHA just because it's so much better rate.
Right. Yeah.
Any questions today? Oh, I think I have a question for you.
Okay, good.
Especially in this time.
You gonna lob it?
Yeah. I'm just going to read it over here because I don't have it all ripped up like I did for you.
Oh.
Can you buy a house without a realtor?
Yeah, you can.
Should you?
No, you shouldn't. And here's the thing: you never know how important having the realtor in the deal is until you really need that realtor. And then sometimes it's just too late. Long time ago, maybe 2008, not 1908.
Now I'm thinking of a show back in 2000.
Yeah. I left a seller with that saying. They decide to list with somebody else that promised him $100,000 more than the house was worth, and a lot less commission. And I said, well, just remember one thing. You never know how important a good realtor is until you need them. So they came back. We got their home sold, got them where they needed to go. and became great friends. So,
but back to buyer doesn't pay. They don't pay for a realtor.
Yeah, there's some class action lawsuits right now that is saying we're not
supposed to say that.
Class action lawsuit?
No, the buyer doesn't pay for it.
No, you can say that. They're saying that some of the lawsuits are saying that we're not completely describing or letting the buyer know how we're getting paid. You have a listing agreement, it's 6%, 5%, whatever you're doing, and you offer a co-op. You offer the cooperating broker a percentage of that percentage that you charge. And that's how the buyer's agent gets paid. So you're enticing the buyer's agent to come bring you a buyer and make things work. So in some areas, they're not explaining that to the consumer. They're feeling like the consumer is being left in the dark and doesn't understand. Some sellers are saying, why am I paying the buyer's agent's commission? So you're going to see more buyer broker agreements. It's a weird world right now. These lawsuits haven't been determined, but yeah, you get represented by a realtor, and the seller pays the commission, even though your agent, the buyer's agency relationship is with that buyer. So you get full representation, and the seller's commission that he pays the main broker is being split by that broker and paid to your agent. I think it's a great setup, but I'm not a legal mind.
Yeah, I it's funny on the CD. It shows all that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it shows who's getting paid and how much commission and all that's broken down.
Yep.
And that's one thing it doesn't really show on there is how much the actual loan officer's getting paid at a bank or other places.
Right.
That's what needs to change. But as a broker, everybody knows what you make.
Yep. Do they?
Yep.
How?
It's on the CD.
Oh,
that's why back in 2006 or 8, they all went from being a broker over to a lender or net branch, so they didn't have to show their commissions. Which I'm like, everybody else shows it. What's the big deal?
Exactly.
Right. Be completely, above board. Not a big deal.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Can a VA loan be used to purchase land?
Only if you're going to build on it.
And do you have a time frame at which you have to build?
Well, I mean by that, it has to be all included in the construction loan for the VA. So you can't. So I have a program that you can buy a piece of land, but basically you have to hold it in escrow, and especially it's going to take like 6 months in order to do the whole loan, do all all the procedures, permits, all the way through to put either a manufactured home on there, a permanent foundation, or build a stick-built house. But it takes a while. So technically, no, you just can't buy land. You can include it all into a construction loan to buy the land and everything else.
So there's a way to do it.
There's a way to do it. And maybe in this market, you would get that seller who wants to sell their piece of land to hold it for you while you're in contract for six months.
Wow.
You heard that right? 6 months.
6 months.
Or you work something out where you give them, 20% down and make payments to them and then get it paid off through the construction loan.
What do we used to call those, wraps?
No, that is called seller financing.
Yeah. I like wrap better.
Well, do one.
Yeah, I can't. I have no rhythm.
A lot of people don't, but they still try.
I know. I've heard them.
Let's see. Oh, this is an old question.
Okay.
Why is the housing market hot?
Supply, demand, interest rates.
Because they worked out before the summer.
Yeah. They got their bikini weight.
That's right. They got down to the bikini weight.
Yeah.
It's still hot. I mean, it's a great market. It's
good for buyers. It's good for sellers.
Maybe Wednesday, can you give us inventory numbers?
Yeah.
And see where we're at to see if we're under a month, that kind of stuff to see.
Yeah. I want to say we had a meeting. We had a little impromptu meeting last week, and I think we were at maybe 1.1 months worth of inventory in just Modesto.
Right.
In just Modesto. So,
so why aren't the buyers out there jumping on these?
Well, I think buyers are scared. They're sitting on the fence thinking, okay, eventually the interest rates are going to come back down. They hear us saying that's probably going to be near the end of the year
or next year end of next year.
And you also hear us saying, if you can afford it, buy now, refinance later.
That's exactly what we're saying. And older people I'm dealing with, I mean, like who've been around, who's owned their own home before, back
Mhm.
before, 2000 and let's say 18,
Right.
right? They know what a 5% interest rate is. They know what a 6% interest rate is.
Right.
They had them. We refinanced them out of them.
Yeah. I remember what a 10% interest rate was. And that was only 10%,
Right.
So right now is a great time to buy. It's a good time to sell.
And excuse me, in 2006, right? 5, 6, when everybody was crazy.
Yeah.
Those rates were 6%. Right. And then a lot of people were buying them with private money or hard money because they had really low interest rates and they were getting 10 to 12% on private money.
Right.
And no one complained. But now the problem is we just showed them. It's like this. You take a buyer to a house that's not qualified. You show them a house that's not in their price range.
And they love it.
And they love everything about it.
Yeah.
And
So
then
don't
you go,
do that.
then you go qualify them, and then they have to go down 100,000 or 200,000.
And they hate everything they see.
Exactly. But if they didn't see that, they wouldn't have saw it. And that's the problem right now.
Right.
We went to extremely low rates, and everybody saw how easy it was to get qualified. Everybody who worked anywhere two of them together could buy.
Right.
And now it's back to where you have to have that's why $50,000 to $100,000 people who were making that money moved out of state to other states to buy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But don't fret it. Just see if it can still work for you. And if you can make the numbers work, you need to buy, because we can always get you lower eventually.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's
All
what
right.
we did.
Yeah. That's what I did.
Sounds like a great week. I will bring in some good numbers and tell you what the month's worth of inventory we have, or less than a month's worth of inventory we have. I'll do just Stanislaus County.
That works. Yeah. Because that's what most people are watching this from.
Yeah. That's where I live.
Yeah. I live there too.
I know.
Then part of the time I live in Tuolumne.
Sometimes.
Part of the time.
Yeah. On the weekends. Sometimes a whole week.
Sometimes a whole 3 days.
Yeah. Ooh, I do it just to do work.
That's right.
To rake the forest.
To rake pine needles. All right. Fun. Someone's got to do it.
All right. It's the beginning of a very fantastic week. A lot of good things are going to happen this week. I can just tell.
That's right. So don't worry about what's happening in the market. Just find that house and we'll
put it in escrow. We'll take care of the rest.
Yeah. We'll get you that buyer.
There you go.
Seller money for your buy down.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Everybody have a great day.
Great day.
We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks, kids.